And in the bottom right, for Alpha X, looking to secure a spot into the playoffs, it is Future of Terran. Funny that you introduced my team's player and I introduced your team's player. Kind of funny.
No, Steadfast, it's okay because we all cheer for the same team. We all play on the same team here. You know what that team is?
Team NA?
The team of looking for great StarCraft.
Yes. The fans, my favorite winner of all, the fans.
I am such a big fan that I have 2 or 3. I got 3 in my room right now, although only 1 is going. So, you know, I'm only 2/3 full on fans.
Yeah. You know, it's all good. You're ready to go nonetheless. We got to talk about the implications of this match, by the way. This is a very, very important match for both these players. If Namshar's on the outside looking in right now, but if he manages to 2-0, he gives himself a decent chance of making it into the playoffs. It's still not a guaranteed thing. He still has to rely on some outside help, specifically from Asuna, which is going to be a tough one. But the bigger thing is that if Future wins here, I believe he is guaranteed through. I believe.
Yeah, that should be so. I mean, he's 3-3. He'll move to 4-3. Epic, well, I guess Epic could technically catch him, but because Epic is 1 map win behind, Epic would not catch on map wins. So it does have to be a situation where Future loses and Epic wins to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as Future basically controls his own destiny. I've been saying that throughout, and I mean, it's true here. We're going to see the Reaper getting in to the natural expansion. Ooh, Namshar pulling that one drone away. We'll keep it alive. But Future, he wants to get the kill, but at the very least, he forces out an Spore Crawler morph. Nice little start.
Yeah, so, Steadfast, are you saying me that he controls his own future?
He sure does,
he's going to get the...
creep.
Creep tumor.
It survives. And the Reaper. That was a thrilling early game, to say the least.
More than we get most times.
Yeah.
All right, so you talk about Asuna. Asuna is playing Epic, so people who need help in there. Who needs help? Actually, that's interesting, right? Because Epic plays Asuna, and Epic needs help from Asuna to make something happen. So that's a little awkward there, isn't it? Or am I just confused?
I think you're confused. Yeah, Epic needs help from Namshar.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Epic,
I don't know why I was
Epic
confused
needs
by
help
Asuna.
from Namshar. But Namshar needs help from Asuna.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that's where I got lost. It's all good. No one accused this caster of being an intelligent one, but luckily, that's why I have the lovely Steadfast next to me, who gets me all unconfused. There's the go. That's the word. All unconfused. As the game does go on. But Steadfast, it's going to be Hellion Liberator is the play from Future, so a little bit less gas. No cloak, certainly, but... Look, if Namshar does not react appropriately, it's still some potential worker damage. How do you feel about that versus, say, Hellion Banshee or, well, even like Hellion Viking?
I mean, it's straightforward. It's a good classic way to open. It's strong. Namshar are going to be very happy that he scouts not just this right away, though, but also sees when the factory stops producing Hellions. That's really good information. He knows it's 6 Hellions. He knows he'll need a Spore Crawler in the natural and or main. And in fact, he's setting up for 4 Spore Crawlers. Evo Chamber block. Instantly ready to go right there. Very nice by Namshar. And Future, he's going to eat a couple of shots on his way into the natural, but Namshar very, very quickly repositioning this Spore. Well done so far on the defense.
One thing we really need to point out, Steadfast, is both these players did not start super hot. I mean, Trigger did kind of body Future in that first series in this group, as the Liberator's not going to get much, but wait a minute. No, Hellions, they're not going to dive in. He's aware of the lings. He says, yeah, even wiping out a mineral line is probably not worth it. With the amount of drones that were there and how they were bunched up, maybe there's a shot, but totally respectable. But Future and Namshar both, they have not had hot starts to this group. I mean, again, Future got bodied by Trigger to start. Namshar didn't look all that great. Well, he did take a map off Trigger, but in general, not being all that great, but both Namshar and Future have done a fantastic job of looking better and better as the group has gone on. And this is something we historically see from Namshar, but it does feel like in the past it's been either good Future or bad Future. So it's really exciting to see him go and start to, well, improve as the game goes on, or the day goes on.
Recovering after a rough start in a group, especially in NA where you only have 1 week, you play 2 weeks. Part of the reason why we don't see the recovery as easily in NA as well is because you play your first 2 games in the same day, and that's already in some cases very, very shaping, informative of how your group is going to go as a whole. And it's a really big deal. If you lose 0-2-0-2, you are in many cases, if not mathematically, almost effectively eliminated at that point. Oh, looks like the Liberator did get picked off. Reaper. Oh, well, he sacks it, but that's worth it. That is 100% worth as far as I'm concerned. Unless he loses all the Hellions. Nice wraparound from Namshar. That's a really big find. But Namshar does... Oh, please. Respread the creep. Okay. Oof, okay. Gets it out.
Oh, but here comes the push already from Future. Pretty quickly, we're actually at we're almost 7 minutes into this game. Is Future looks like, is that an 8 racks? Right?
It's actually just the 4th and 5th.
Oh, okay, yeah, just
I thought it was 2. Okay. I was like, oh wow, he's going to 7 racks. That's a weird number. But no, it's the 4th and 5th. It's just that he focused really hard on unit production, and he's going to be able to kill off the 4th base. And I think Namshar is wise to not contest this. He is going to go for the counterattack and will be able to actually get a lot done. And there's not actually a whole lot of production here for Future, and that's going to mean that he's going to struggle to clean up this counterattack. This is actually a lot of damage coming in. 7. Oh my God, the tank just friendly fired so many SCVs. It was 6 SCVs dead, and then suddenly it was 17.
They said at actually 21 now because the Lings are still there. Steadfast, they called it friendly fire. But that didn't feel very friendly.
Look at the battle report. Future killed more of his own SCVs than Namshar. Oh, no, it's 11-10. But regardless, oh my God, that was a disaster for Future. Yeah, you are right. That was the most unfriendly fire you will ever see.
And now Namshar, he's effectively mining up that 4th base now, just taking it on the 12 o'clock position. And Steadfast, we know you struggle, but 12 o'clock is on the top side of the map. He still got his 5th base on the way as well. So yeah, Future, he knocked a base down, and normally you say that's great for the Terran. Not this game when you just effectively Future lost one of his own bases. He lost a lot of that army on the defense, losing tanks. And now his baneling speed is done. It's a hard position for Namshar to aggress into, but he says, I'm going to do it anyways because I just have too much stuff. And Namshar, he has everything going for him now. His 2-2 is faster. He's got a better economy. He's going to be able to respread.
Oh, it was... how did that actually get... It was literally like dissipating as it went down. Wow. That is very fortunate for Namshar. That's one of those situations you're real happy about. Ooh, nice target fire on the banelings. Not able to get all of them, but still nice little trade. And Future, he's not out of this game yet, but he is most certainly in a tough position. Hive on the way. 2-2 much faster. Yeah, this is still a struggle. Ooh, nice positioning though from Future.
Yeah, absolutely. Just hide behind the mineral lines like that. Now he's going to start to clear off some creep right around this. What is this? The 6th base of Namshar. But Namshar is in a pretty good spot, and we're going to have that timing in 10 seconds where he does it. He's up 2 upgrades, and then the bio it really is very afraid here. So for now, Future again knocking down some creep, looking for any sort of attack of opportunity. And Steadfast, while we've been pointing out how good the base count is from Namshar, right? He's on just about 6 hatcheries. He's only on 68 workers in total right now. His economy is not booming nearly as hard as you would think when you look at just how much of the map he controls.
Yeah, that's a really great point. We expect him to be on like 85 workers probably by this point. How did they...
Wait, I was like, that one cannot be allowed.
That's funny because it can only place the animation if it saw that there was an opportunity to do so. So that queen went on a very long adventure. Oh God, the Widow Mine. Oh God, the Widow Mine. Oh, it got 14 kills. Oh, that's a lot of bloody Zerg.
Well, it's fine because Namshar, much like British soldiers in the 1700s, he's in the red, so the Lings don't see the blood on their fallen or something like that. Anyways, this drop's going to get cleaned up here. We're going to step away from that. It looks like actually a fairly decent fight in the middle of the map here. but Namshar just continues to dominate his side of the map. We see Future kind of picking at the edges of things, looking for ways to make something happen, but it doesn't feel like he can make inroads past the 50% position on the map right now. But Namshar's going into Ultra steadfast. I know we saw Cyril be successful with it, but I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, Future did not secure his 4th base quickly at all. In fact, he still hasn't landed it. It was very, very delayed. He stayed on 3 bases for a really long time, focused a lot on army production, and that means he's got a really big army. But oh boy, howdy, does that army not ever deal with Ultras well. Ultramarine, or pardon me, Widowmine Marine. Oh, I mean, it deals with Lings very, very well. 36 kills now. Oh my God. Yo, somebody promote this thing to Admiral.
But see, steadfast, Widowmines are robots. They cannot be promoted. They can just do their job and then fall into a couple pieces. Based on the right side is going to go down. That's fine. Good move there from Future, actually. And the Widowmines are going to get decent shots after all. But here come the Ultras. That's the reveal. They don't even have kindness plating just yet. They're just two Ultras. How many Marauders do we have on them? Oh my God, those Widowmines. We still don't have a lot of Ultra or Marauders on the field, but the Ultras don't have their upgrades just yet. They just pop. And suddenly, this push did not feel nearly as good for Namshar. Yeah, he got some good connections to start, but he did not get some good connections to end.
No, and I mean, even Marines do not deal well with Ultralisks when they have chitinous plating. But like you mentioned, he didn't have chitinous plating for that entire setup. And you don't even really need Marauders until the chitinous plating hits the field, and that's when you need something that punches through that armor a lot more effectively. Widowmine will hit a Queen, and this is a really good position for Future. Namshar should not be trying to, like, shove into this.
I mean, no, he really should not. I mean, maybe you're hopeful that, okay, the Kaiser Blades on these Ultras are going to be able to get him in the choke. Sure, fine. But Ultras were not leading. Ultras were not there at the front of that one, as we see Lings desperately trying to split. No target there, fire there from Future, so hey, he gets a Banelings on the backside. That's not bad. But again, the Ultras were not leading the charge there, and now they're going to go down once again. What was that Ultra doing there? He's gonna bit of a vacation, but not a fun one.
The funny thing is, at that point, he had completed his +3 armor, so he had the armor upgrade and the chitinous plating, so it actually looks like it took a long time to kill that Ultra for this almost purely Marine army. And Future, nice kills on those Banelings. They do get a little bit done here. Future is really trying to make something happen to keep... He's trying to keep Namshar from attacking any of his bases because that Marauder count is still being beefed up. It is not that high just yet. There's very few tanks, not a whole lot dealing with these Ultras. A lot of the Lings are going to go down, and SimCity is really going to confuse these Ultras. But it's also... Actually, no, this is exactly what Future was afraid of. Oh, the Banelings! Oh, God.
The Banelings, they're not even killing anything anymore because there actually is nothing to kill. Future, though, base trade on the other side. He knocks down the upper right base, but there are a lot more bases where that came from. It's kind of funny watching these Ultras try to die, or Future try to kill them at this point when it is just Marines. You can see the hit point bars on some of them, and it's like, okay, that was actually a full burst. Yeah, look at this. It's like, these are it's 2-2 bio versus 5 armor Ultras. It's just... It doesn't work. Like, this isn't actually... I know I come down on Ultras, but this is that rare opportunity where you actually really do want the Ultras because Future is just so behind. His mid-game tech is just... He's so heavy on the mid-game that these Ultras will truly never die, or if they do, they're going to trade so tremendously well. Future, why are you taking that fight? That is never going to work in your favor.
Yeah, and we can see that it doesn't. Oh, we are going to see the Medivacs able to... I mean, there's so many of them. He's not able to figure out which one has got the bio inside. Still does get one of them, drops another one low. I do really like the addition of Corruptors and Infestors. You know, Ghosts, extremely good against those units. But you mentioned it, Future is focusing on mid-game tech, and he feels like he can't really advance out of this. I kind of agree with him. He can't really afford it. So Infestors and Corruptors are going to be so good against this setup. Corruptor's going to take down that huge count of Medivacs. Infestor's going to be able to lock down the bio and even potentially lock down the Medivacs as well. And now we see this attempt to lift up. Oh, he does get away before the Corruptors can close the gap.
Well, the nice thing about that is, you know, Corruptors, unlike, for the most part, like Mutas, they're pretty tanky. So you can just really click them on the Medivacs as the fight chase happens. You don't have to worry about the turnaround nearly as much, but also they're not as fast, so chasing down Medivacs takes a little bit longer there as a Marauder. It does get sacrificed for the cause, for vision, I guess. But now here comes the army of Namshar once again. This is kind of a scary choke for him to tack into. That's a decent concave of Terran on the backside that now has 3-3. So these Ultras are not going to fight the Marauders quite as easily. Again, we saw those last couple of fights where it's Marine and Marauder, and they're just kiting backwards, and the Ultras are taking literally 0 damage. Not the case anymore. Ultras, they can die without, 30 seconds of commitment by the Zerg, or by the Terran to try to knock that down. And we're starting to get to the point where I almost feel like we want to see Namshar transition out of the Ultras now, because again, it is 3-3 bio, it features maxed out, 150 army supply, he has a decent amount of Marauders, some tanks to bolster. Maybe you go to Broodlords, something like that. But for now, that's where Namshar is.
I actually agree. I was just going to say, I think Broodlords would be a great decision. Infestors are lagging behind right here. He doesn't want to lose this base. Marauders in the front. He's trying to buy time. Future does have a lot of stuff and a really nice pre-spread. Fungal growth going to show itself. Not going to get too much done. The Infestor going down, or sorry, not the Infestor, the Overseer taking the shot. There's a decent little Fungal and another one behind it. But yeah, he's attacking into a meat grinder right here. Future going to be able to grind down all the Ultralists and dropped it to 1 HP. It does go down.
Oh man, the Marauder stimming in the rally there. And if we look at this fight, I mean, that was actually ludicrously expensive. Only 300 gas went down for the Terran, and like 3,000 gas went down there for the Zerg player. And now we're at that point where Namshar, he's had a great economy this entire game. He's doing great. But Ultras don't build all that quickly. Infestors don't build all that quickly. Because Future was able to punch through and take that fight, or more precisely, because Namshar opted to take a bad fight, Future can now knock down 2 bases. He's going to get active on a 3rd. Banelings look to roll on in, but we have this wall of Marauders that make it not nearly as nice. But it looks like not a ton of Marauders in this army at the end of things. Looks like a lot of them did die to the Baneling and Ling. But the composition of Future's army deals with what Namshar has a lot better now, because again, he knocked down 5 Ultras, he killed 2 bases, and he will eventually have Ghosts on the way. His academy is done at the very least.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really big help. Oh, the traitor Widowmine dragging the shot into 2 other drones right there. Very unfortunate. Ooh, Fungal's going to try and come in from the side here. He is still building just pure Marauders. So it's no Ghost transition just yet, and he knows the Infestors are here. Oh, the flank. Oh, the Widowmine. But the flank. Oh, the Fungal. Oh, it's huge. All over the Marines, and that is the fight that Namshar was looking for. Was it enough? I mean, it was, yeah, I think it probably was. That was huge. If he gets the 2nd Infestor down the ramp and that Widowmine doesn't save, I think Future maybe just loses the whole army.
The crazy thing too, there's Future saw those Infestors. He saw them sharking around on the edge of the scan, and you're going to assume, that is what the Infestors are going to do. But hey, there's one. He gets his revenge. That Infestor that did so much value, well, it is gone now. But Future continues to rock that 40-odd army supply lead, as you said, building more and more and more Marauders. I am very surprised not to see Ghosts on the way, but, I guess that's what he wants to play right now. Fungal dropping on top of everything here, and he's got to chain it, though. Yes, he does, but the Marauders are dead. There were no Banelings there anymore. The Ultras are dead, excuse me. No Banelings anymore. So, fantastic Fungal. There is so much red on the ground after that. But he wasn't able to get the 3rd. He was not able to bring the army to bear that he needed to bring to eviscerate the army. So yes, great trade there for Namshar. Army supplies, they've equalized a lot. But as you said last time, that could have been so much more.
It really could have. That was extremely close to just being a disaster here for Future. He's trying just on this really heavy bio composition, and he's almost making it work here. There are more Infestors on the way. The other Infestors are starting to charge up energy. Namshar, he should not be fighting right here. Now that the base has gone down, just give it up. Just give it up. Go away to the left side. We see he's already, you might have noticed the camera looked immediately to this location. There is a Widowmine, though, here to block this base. And now he's going to have to put 30 drones on 14 mineral patches. But we also have to mention, Future does not have a great economy himself.
And 53 workers, but Steadfast, let me tell you of a powerful 5-letter word. It starts with an M and ends with ools, and that can overcome any economic deficit, right? It's not like, Future needs to have more than 1 base worth of mineral patches when mules exist, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Future, though, caught very far out of position. He's going to lose this newest base. Oh, the fungal. Oh, the fungal growth gonna land. Another one is available. It gets a pretty big connection right there. The base is trying to survive against a caustic spray, but it will go down. The Baneling's able to provide that big burst of DPS, and Namshar, yeah, just disengage. He does not need to keep pushing right now. He has absolutely completed his objective, and look at the energy on these medevacs and the HP on this army. Meanwhile, the medevac, the one that does have energy, is like, no, these SCVs look like they could use some help.
I mean, they could. The most important part of this game is Future needs to be able to mine. So I understand. Well done, medevac. You're doing a good job. Future, you talk about Namshar immediately looking bottom. Future doing the same thing. He's got a base going down on that 6 o'clock position. And Namshar's got to be careful because he's got to run through a minefield. And yes, ultras are beefy boys, but armor doesn't matter against Widow Mines. So technically, you get like 7 Widow Mines or whatever it is. And that is a easy ultra kill. And that's a kill, not a cancel on the bottom side as well. So Future, he's now moving to the game state. Well, an interesting game state. Normally we see this more in the mid game, but where he's starting to realize that maybe he can't take the Zerg straight up, so he has to do more with multi-pronging. He has to do with more harassment. While he does finally get his ghost count up. I think those are the first 2 in the game that we see on the production tab, and yeah, they are. So eventually he's going to start to hit that critical mass of ghosts. He started to realize that maybe the infestors are too much of a problem, maybe the ultras are too much of a problem, but for right now, not a lot. He needs to buy time.
Oh, and he does not buy time right here. A big fungal growth going to connect, going to allow the Banelings to get in on top of this before the units can lift up. The rest of the army is making its way over, but we are going to see no cancel on this base. He actually completed it, so he does manage to keep this command center alive, at least for the moment. But Namshar going to lose this base up on the 12 o'clock, not 6 o'clock location. But the fungal growth coming on in on the army. The ghosts are not out yet. Namshar says enough is enough, but is it enough?
I don't know, man. Like, this is a 4-base Zerg right now. Widowmine's getting... Oh, those are fungals, though. They are fantastic, but is it going to be enough? The Ultras, they continue to chomp on forward, but only one remains, and that is really the only ground force here. It's going to go down, and now here comes Future stimming across the map with actually not a lot, but should be enough there to chase down at least one of those infestors. And now at least we have some ghosts on the field. Army supply within 10. Future only on 40 workers, but it is a 4-base Zerg who also... His economy is shattered. Future is able to drop mules. Whatever this queen is doing on the other side, again, a nice vacation into the ground. But Future's been able to stabilize. He's dropping mules on these 39 workers. He's mining almost 4,000 minerals a minute. He can build his army more. And Namshar, he needs a lot more time.
He certainly does. Yeah, there is no gas mining currently. 0 gas mining for Future. As we have, a couple of Zerglings going to get in here. Look at this positioning from Namshar, getting behind the mineral line to create a choke for the SCVs. Future, though, baits them out. Oh, I was going to say, Future, you don't want to use those Widow Mines to clear out these units here.
Oh, fungal.
Oh, another fungal. Oh, my God, it's huge. Future was not pre-spread, and he eats a massive connection right there. The Ultras, oh, my God, this game is still so close. Big Widow Mine shot on one of the Ultras right there, able to take it down. Where are the Queens? Transfuse the Ultra. You have so many Queens.
That he does. Okay, transfused at the end, but it will go down anyways. Steadfast, that fungal, you mentioned how overstimmed and how little healing. Oh, yeah, be careful. Widowmine. Oh, he gets the medevac, and I think that was still mostly full. But we're going to be okay because there's not a lot following up on that one. Future has secured this base. He is mining so much more now as Widowmines are going to... There we go. Get the... It's a gift. It's a donation. It's fine. That fungal, you mentioned how overstimmed Future's army has been this entire game. That fungal, I think by itself, probably killed a full third of that army. As again, shots going to go in. Friendly fire on the Widow Mines, knocking down so much of this army. It's so hard for Future to push in here. The army supplies are so low that we get to look at the point. Wait, Steadfast, there are no medevacs on the map.
There are also no Zerglings. There are Queens, a couple Corruptors, and no army for Namshar. He taps out as the base goes down. What a... bizarre game that was. Future gets it done on pure bio and pure willpower.
That was a hell of a game. Like we take those regardless of who wins, and it feels bad. I do feel like we should have seen Namshar transition faster. You know, you have that ultra timing and you dominate the map, but as we saw right there, eventually ultras just stop trading. Well, you get 3-3, and even before you get to the ghost count, it's just they're not all that great. And the our referee just messaged me. He says, I'm confused. Me too. Um, yeah, but again, you dominate the map long enough, and you really don't capitalize on it well. And by the end of that game, Future he had more economy. He was able to secure some bases, and everyone who has ever played against a Terran knows it feels so bad. You deny the the fifth base of the Terran for so long, and then they get it, and they just drop the mule hammer down that they've been sitting on for forever, and then suddenly they have another 10,000 minerals, and the game can continue. And it's like, oh, just almost had him.
Yeah, you're like, I had him by the scruff of the neck, and then they, drank the Hulk serum and just grew 15 times larger than what they used to be. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't almost have them. Maybe I thought I did, but I suppose I can see now that I never really actually had them.
Ooh. And Steadfast, I do have an update for you. It appears that Scarlet beat Estrella.
That is...
And I believe, just based off timings, I don't know yet. I'm really looking at the mainstream. I believe that was a 2-0.
It looks like it. It looks that way. Yeah. She looks like she did something weird with a proxy hatch in the natural, at least in game 2. And then on the D stream on Cranky Ducklings, looks like Asuna did take that game versus Epic.
Huh.
So, wait, did Namshar need to 2-0 though?
Well, I mean, if Future wins this series, Future's just in, and Namshar can't catch. So, I mean, regardless, Namshar has to win this series, regardless of whether it has to be a 2-0 or not. So, you tell me whether it has to be 2-0. I'll bring us in to our second game in this series. It's Namshar down 1 off of a banger of a game 1. And of course, folks, in the bottom left here, the victor by the skin of his teeth in that first game for Alpha X. He's Future.
And his opponent, spawning up at the top right for Storm Gaming, it is Namshar. I think Namshar did need to 2-0. I believe he did, because now he cannot catch Future. So Future has run away from Namshar. He can still, if Namshar wins this though, Namshar can still, Future can still get eliminated if Epic wins. However, Future, once again, he just needs to focus on the win.
I mean, right now, there's still no way, right? Because of map win differential, Future will have more map wins.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Or no, if Future loses the series,
oh, yes,
and Epic wins his series, it'd be 4-3 versus 3-4.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were saying, like, if Future and Epic both win, there's still a world where Epic catches.
No. It's, if Future wins, he's through. Straight up. Doesn't matter.
All right, well.
And if Epic loses now at this point, Future is guaranteed through as well.
And you and I were both looking at it. It's like, man, you need help from Asuna. That's not likely, but I don't know what piece of cheddar Asuna threw in those first 2 games that got him the win, but I'm sure it was something disgusting, very smelly. It's like the what's it called? You know the cheese that they make in I want to say it's Spain, and it is not allowed to be exported. It's actually almost barely legal to be sold in country, but they make it with insects. Like the insects go and they eat the cheese, and that's the type of cheese. That's the type of smelly cheese that Asuna puts out.
That sounds terrible. That sounds, but that is a good point. Like, that is a good way of putting it. He has got some very, very stinky cheese. Some real nasty stuff in his arsenal. Ooh, Ling gonna get picked off once again. Nice job from Future. And he wants more, and I think he's gonna get it here. Oh, nice micro from Namshar. Okay, good job. Good job from Namshar. Continue. Oh, hello, Reaper?
Debate.
Oh. It actually, I think you're right. I think it was. He actually did draw that one Zergling out, gets another kill. Getting 2 Zerglings is a nice start for your Reaper. That is for damn sure.
It's always such an interesting trade, right? When we look at these early game TVZs, is it worth it to heavily trade with Lings early on the off chance you get a drone? Or is it better to maintain the Reaper HP to the point where you can all in on the Creep Tumor and knock that down? And I don't have a good answer for you necessarily, and one might argue that dealing with the Lings makes it easier to kill the Creep Tumor. But regardless, oh, he's going to get that one. There we go. At least round 2. It's going to not spread quite as exponentially. But even still, yeah, I don't know. I don't know which is the better option. We do see more trading focus on the Lings anyways. And there we are. You know, Future got a drone's worth of Lings.
Yeah, that is one way to put it. And Namshar actually built 4 extra Zerglings, not just 2, and sent 2 of them, hit 2 of the original first ones onto kind of strange scouting paths. I'm not really sure what this is about. It's a strange move to me. Personally, I think the Creep Tumor is actually more valuable if you can get it. But the problem is, the Zerg player, if they know that you're, stockpiling that HP, keeping it high, they can just put the Creep Tumor very far back and be very safe.
And of course, also you have the Lings there that have not died or taken damage, so they can buffer easier. It is a complex scenario. But I got to point out here, Steadfast, very clearly, those scouting Lings, it's just because Namshar is worried that Future is going to proxy for the rich Vespine base because he's going for some weird, 4 battlecruiser play. 100%, we understand. Fantastic. But in reality, the Future's doing the exact same thing he did in game number 1, and it falls to Namshar to do something a little bit different in this game. That's a rather quick lair.
Very quick layer right there. He's going to be... I don't know what he's going to be doing with this. I feel like it's potentially could be mutas, but I don't think of Namshar as a Mutaling Bane player. Probably just going to be for, a quick... Okay, there we go. Baneling Nest coming on down. Yeah, quick Baneling speed, most likely. Ooh, nice grenade right there from Future. Going to be able to find one of these queens. Not often we see that happen these days. Good pick off from Future.
Yeah, just catching Namshar sleeping just a little... Oh, he's going to get a second one? Maybe, but no, he's just going to dive in. He says, oh, there are some Lings. Okay, back up. I want to point out, as the Liberator finds much more value this game, Future, he stopped on, I believe, 6 Hellions last time. So that is very much a creep patrolling, composition. He did a good job of controlling the creep. He went up to 8 this time. So maybe hoping that Namshar has, been lulled into this false sense of security a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something else is telling him that he wants to go for that one. But for now, Liberator's going to get a second shot on the Queen, look to resiege. And now the Queen's got to be careful. As the Hellions dive in, 2 more workers will go down, make it 3. Namshar, he went the wrong way. He thought he was going to catch the Hellions on the way up, but he does not do so. Liberator continues to find value, and the Hellions, they dive in. Oh, no, Namshar's not paying attention. This is 5 more workers go down. And at this point, the Hellions are going to find themselves in a fantastic position. So the Lings are going to get a good surround. Sure, these Hellions go down. Sure. But at the end of the day, that was 5 drones, another 5 drones worth of Lings, another 6 drones worth of Lings, and the Liberator continues to distract Namshar and has found some value on its own.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice start. Pretty nice start for Future. He's equalized the worker count at this stage. Namshar actually building Zerglings right here. What? He is not droning up.
That's a lot of Banelings to make on this side. Does he think this is going to be like a Hellbat timing? I mean,
I feel like he must think this is no, he's seen the third. What? Yeah, this is a very, very bad time to be making Zerglings. He needed to drone up at least a little bit before making that set of Zerglings. This is a pretty brutal misread actually from Namshar. It's going to put him in a really, really rough position.
And the Liberator continues to find value up to 6 workers. Now, it will die eventually. The Queen is here, but that is drones that are not mining. Namshar made a lot of army to defend against this push, but it's 2 medevacs, right? He's not really... I guess there's 2 tanks, and that's going to be nice. But at this point, even if with these tanks going down, unless Namshar, I don't know, swings across the map and does something crazy, and Future should not... There we go. We'll pick up in time with the Banes. Future, even just by trading right now, with this... He's up 7 workers on a Zerg player at 7.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, Namshar, I feel like Namshar is just all inning right here. Like, I feel like he has to, but he's getting 1-1 and now he starts more drones. Yeah, Namshar is, he is not playing this out the way I would expect him to. It's such a shame because versus Scarlet, he looked so much better than I expected him to going into the group. And then I think that raised my expectations. And now I see him today and he's looking...
I mean, Steadfast.
He's not looking impressive.
I don't think that's fair to game 1. Namshar certainly found himself fantastic advantages in that Hardwire, or in that Berlingrad game, excuse me. And while at the end of the day, he didn't transition well enough, saying he looks really bad is I don't think that's fair. Again, he looked good game 1, but we want to talk about this game 2 though. Yeah, this is not, he's not even playing to the level he showed us in that first game.
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
I think the thing is I was starting to expect much more because of the Scarlet series yesterday. And it's unfortunate. Now, Future, he's cruising, he's chilling. Namshar, by no means is he out of this game, but just a lot of things that I would expect from a player of his caliber, unfortunately not really doing them.
Yeah, well, one thing we got to point out here is Future actually is on a pretty big bank, almost 1,000 minerals before he drops down, I guess, whatever else he decided to drop down. I really don't see where that money went. But anyways, the macro from Future does appear to be slipping just a little bit. Like, it feels like he could be at probably 180 supply right now if he was not letting that one fall down. And then it would be damn hard for Namshar to make the defense happen. Namshar, though, on the other side of the map, he's going to swallow this army whole. Good hot pick up there from Future just in time, getting his Marines out. But the tank count does get diminished once again. Only one here. And Namshar has opted to go for Hydraling Bane. So you want to make sure you're on a decent tank count there. In fact, Future, he went double factory. So he will be able to pump those tanks out, even if he is right now very much on a heavy Widowmine style.
Yeah, I do have to point out, by the way, Namshar's creep spread is looking very good in this game. That's something where he looks extremely sharp, and there is something to be said for maybe he gets did allow him to kind of break the momentum of Future, killing off those 2 tanks with the big swell of Ling Bane. Like it paid dividends, but we can see even now that he's kind of struggling to keep pace with Future's macro, even as Future doesn't have necessarily the cleanest macro. We are going to be seeing the medevacs. A little bit of a weird, funky setup right there, and I think it might have been a bit of an F2 right there from Future.
Yeah, well, for now, push on the right side. Looks like it's going to be backed up. And luckily, Future that's the second time I think this game where we've seen one medevac get away on 5 HP and still be fine. But you point out how Namshar's creep spread is good. It absolutely is. But I think we also got to point out, it really, until right now, it doesn't feel like we've seen Future really focusing on reducing it. He's been trying to much more get damage done to the actual state of Namshar rather than knocking down that creep spread. But for now, he actually really is moving in heavily here, dropping a scan, says, oh, okay, I don't see a lot of Banelings just yet, but now he does have vision with the Xel'Naga Tower to see the Banelings morphing in on the right side. But the problem, or the scary thing, I guess, when we see any push like a Terran like this, is the longer this goes on and less creep is removed, the easier it is for you to go and really set up these massive surrounds. But here comes the run by from Namshar. Future's not splitting, so that's a lot of Banelings connections, but what it does mean is nothing finds its way into the actual base of Future. His economy stays alive for now, but he's still not really making the inroads that we would expect, Steadfast.
God. No, he's not, but look at the production tab right now. 4 more barracks just came down from Future, as well as 2 additional command centers. He's going to be on 16 barracks right now. He has decided, and a 3rd factory. Oh
barracks.
My God. Sorry, 12 barracks. What did I say? 13?
16. I'm like, oh, that's 16. A lot of barracks.
Oh, yeah. I'd already done the mental math in my head, so I did it twice. I'd 8 barracks plus 4. Yeah, that's 12. And then I added another 4 for some reason. Brain is a little tired right now. 4 more tech labs as well. He's going to be pumping out so many Marauders. What is this setup from Future? This is bizarre.
Steadfast, I'm kind of sad, actually, that he's not adding reactors onto all those. Hold that thought here. We got a fight kicking off, it looks like. Future, he's in one big clump right now, but Marauders forward. Marines looking to run back as Namshar trying to make sure that he can defend this base as well as he can, with the tank of the Hydra and Widowmines as well. But Banelings come crashing forward now. Namshar thinks he can take this fight. I really remain unconvinced, but the Banelings are going to make the connections after all. Good target fire on the backside. Now can the Marines, can they punch through all of these Hydras? Lurkers, they show up, and that is the spines that say, run away, little Future, back on home. But to finish my thoughts, Steadfast, because, I was so rudely interrupted, I'm really sad this is not 12 or even 16 barracks on full reactors, because then Future would be able to build as many Marines as Showtime had gateways in that game earlier today.
Exactly. That would have been a pretty cool moment. Unfortunate for Future, he took that fight before his own 3-3 completed.
Oof.
Man, yeah, a lot of just not clean moves from both players. I hate to be so critical, but we got to call it out. That's literally our job. Yeah, not a clean pickup on that medevac. No splitting multiple times from Future. We are going to see the Lurkers moving on forward, and he's still not building Ghosts. It's just Marauders. If the Lurkers get into a good spot, Namshar's just going to run him over right here.
Steadfast, it doesn't matter whether he's building Ghosts or not. He cannot build Ghosts. There is no Ghost Academy here, and this timing that Namshar has been fighting for, that Zergs have been loving for the last 2 years, the whole I'm losing, I feel bad, oh ha, I have 15 Lurkers, you're not prepared. That's exactly what has happened here. But Future, at the very least, he does have, looks like a drop on the north or on the east side, knocking a base down there, and that is one of the benefits of building tons of Marauders. You do kill bases very quickly, especially with 3-3, but looks like there should be enough Lings and Hydras and Banes and all of these wonderful things to force him back for now. Medevac's getting targeted down, but none of the fun ones. Good Widowmine shot on the Banelings right there, but there's actually no mining at this third base. It seems like Namshar's going to rotate over. There's no planetary. That's going to get forced to lift, and hey, a couple free Marauders as well. No, they're going to be able to escape. Unburrow, reburrow. They do the hokey pokey. They turn themselves around. And I guess that is what it's all about, Steadfast, but for now, that base will be forced to lift. Namshar really dominating the map right now.
He sure is. And even oh, look at this. Future gets a big jump on these Lurkers that were left burrowed there. Namshar, he should just be building like a bunch more Lurkers right now. Like Future is not trying to deal with the Lurkers with Ghosts. He is still not built a Ghost Academy. Future is just literally pumping pure Marauder, and first of all, I think that's not the play. I think that's a very questionable strategic decision. But second of all, I mean, well, okay, base goes down. Very few SCVs, only 7 SCVs, considering, oh my god, so many of them in the red. I gotta say, the decision-making for both players is really leaving me scratching my head.
They just wanted us to have another long late-game TVZ. So they said, hey, you know, we're dragging this game there hell or high water, as Namshar is forced to cancel that base. But yeah, man, you want to pile on that Marauder idea just a little longer. The only thing Marauders are good against in this army, I guess, sure, maybe they can get on top of Lurkers with a fantastic surround, but Hydras shred Marauders, right? It's not close. I guess they may be good against Banes, but if you just play Hydraling Lurker, this army from Namshar really is untouchable. So Future's going to try to take a base once again. He was very quick on taking that base on the bottom side because he has so many command centers right now. But it feels like we just want to see Namshar continuing to just drive into Future's face, and he's not. He's giving him a little bit of time to catch up here, and I don't think you want to give that to him at this point.
Oh, well, you certainly don't want to attack into a minefield with 4 unburrowed Lurkers. Loses a lot of them right at the get-go. Not the cleanest start right here. We are going to see Lurkers trying to burrow in the midst of this. The Widowmine shots are getting pretty good connections, and the concave of Future is quite good. However, the Blinding Cloud, very good. Oh, the Lurker line was way too deep. Future tries to drive right through it and ends up driving himself directly, kind of an impaling action where he drives himself right onto a spike. Abducts, oh, very unfortunately, abducts the 2 wrong medevacs. Doesn't get either of them somehow. Oh, just kidding. One does go down as the boost expires. Man, this has been a game.
I can confirm that we are watching a game of StarCraft 2. In fact, there is a Zerg and a Terran in the game.
Ha, this is undoubtedly a TVC. Oh my god, and we're going to see another couple of Lurkers getting just left to their own devices. One of them does make it back to creep, but it is going to get blown up. So that's where the Marauders really shine. But there's no Marines here. Barely any Marines. So the Lings getting on top of this are going to be quite a problem. Target fire on... Oh, medevacs are just out of energy. Future, I mean, he's got so many Marauders that he's able to trade better than I expected. That still went pretty poorly for him, though.
It did. I mean, Marauders are armored units, but they also do bonus damage to armor. So they are able to blow up those Lurkers, as you said, but if the Lurkers get burrowed, same idea, Marauders, they evaporate arguably even more than Marines. Marines have a lot less HP, but again, that bonus damage is impactful as hell. But we're starting to get to that point where your mass Marauders, they don't attack all that quickly, so they don't really shred Hydras all that quickly, and Hydras, again, they just do Hydraling very much tears through this army, and we're seeing it in live action, in living color. But both players, they seem to be rather stubborn about how they want to play this game. We're seeing no tech transition from Future. There's the Ghost Academy, finally. But we're also not seeing much of a transition from Namshar either, which I like, because again, this army that he has is absolutely the army that he wants to fight Future with. But I wonder what's going to happen, because as we saw last game, the Ghost Academy dropped, and Future still didn't build Ghost for like another 6 minutes.
Yeah, when he really needed them for a while too. Now in that case, he was in a much worse economic spot. I mean, actually, he had this base, I guess, forced to lift off. We're going to see Lurkers starting to siege in on the left side, and there's a ton of SCVs here. Oh man, Future. Uh-oh. Hello, command center? He's focusing on the right side. But the command center, okay, it is going to get repaired on up. Oh god, oh no! We pulling the boys into the Lurkers. That did nothing before the army shows up. A disastrous engagement to finish it up. And Namshar takes the game and evens the series at 1 apiece.
That was a game. I can confirm. That was a game. Namshar now, he 2-0s Future, making it much more difficult for Future to make his way out of Group A. If we take a look at our standings, let me refresh the page and hope Liquipedia doesn't get mad at me. There we go. Oh, it looks like Future, because Epic lost. Did Epic lose? Epic lost? Epic.
Oh,
Soda 2-1
wow.
Epic.
Okay. So, you know, we talked about the preparation that Alpha X does for their players. I mean, prepping Asuna to beat Epic is the kind of thing that helps Future out a hell of a lot. Damn, I did not see that coming.
No, it didn't. And I'm sorry, I think we left that game, and I'm like, yeah, you know, series is over. No.
Oh,
While
yeah,
Namshar was in a great spot in game 1, he did lose. So we are moving to game 3. We'll be on Hardwire. Do you have any idea what's going to happen this next game, Steadfast? Like,
No.
We're going to have some StarCraft. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. We sure are. Both players have definitely made a lot of missteps, but it's a high pressure situation, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy to be perfect. StarCraft 2 is a game of imperfections, and it's not easy. Yeah. Yep.
It's not easy being this handsome either, but Future somehow does that one. So hopefully, you know, maybe, I don't know, Vindictor or someone goes and they reach out to him and say, hey, Future, you were in a great spot in that game too. You just need to buy some ghosts. Build them at the 12-minute mark, not the 20-minute mark, and you'll be fine. You know, we get that nice message because our admin has requested a little bit more time, so we're not going to get into game 3 too quickly. So that is just enough time for whoever has been Future's training partner to say, hey, build the ghost, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like rewatching the SCV pull into the Lurkers. I just feel so bad for all of their families. You know, like it just. Oh boy.
Man, it is.
Yeah.
It is such an interesting question, right? So Terrans, they can build a more efficient robots that mine minerals. All right, that is what the mule is. It does a great job, and they choose to let SCVs, to let Terran men and women in power suits give their lives in droves to mine minerals at a less efficient rate. You really got to question that one, right?
Yeah, it's the kind of, yeah. Yep. I'm sorry. My brain is broken after this series so far. And thank God this is not the first game of the day, because this would be a long day. All right, we're going to get into game number 3 on Hardwire.
Thank you, Steadfast, for saving us from ourselves. But you know what? Maybe someone who's going to save his opportunities in this group, although it is to find out. Anyways, he is Future.
And his opponent now officially eliminated, but can still win himself a little bit of money, a little chunk of change for Sidestorm Gaming. It is Namshar in the red. Yeah, So what'd you have for breakfast this morning, Beowulf?
I had a couple eggs. I had some nice, there's a company relatively local to make some fairly tasty hummus. So I had some eggs and like a roasted red bell pepper hummus.
Damn, you were ready with a good gourmet level answer. That's awesome.
Well, literally, you crack eggs, you put them in a pan, and you toast some pita and eat hummus out of a jar. So, like, I don't know how gourmet that is, my friend.
I mean, we're casters, you know. So they chain us to the desks, and then sometimes they give us nutrient paste. So. Yeah.
I have half of my lunch sitting on the table right now because we were told a 20-minute break, and then it rapidly went down to 5 minutes, and in a time period that was not 15. So I'm excited to eat the second half of my lunch eventually, Steadfast.
Yeah, I put some like curry in the microwave, and then it beeped, and I looked at my phone, and it's like, hey, we're starting in 2 minutes. And that was at 2 minutes before I read the message. So I got over and just hoofed it down the stairs, and I've just been taking little nibbles of the curry. It's quite good. Yeah. Quite good.
Can confirm I was desperately steadfast, steadfast, run, fly, show us the meaning of haste. And I guess you did eventually show us the meaning of eating nutrient paste at least. But it took a second for the haste to get ready.
Show us the meaning of paste.
Why is that funny? It should not be funny.
It shouldn't be funny, but for some reason it is like really funny. Oh God! Oh man! I realized why. So Shadowfax is a horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? You know what horses get made into at the end of their effective shelf life. Shadowfax, go to the factory. Show us the meaning of paste. Oh my God. Roachwarren coming on down here as I describe a truly gruesome scene. No ling speed. Ooh, so he's going to be going for a ton of roaches here. And it is worth noting that Future has not gone for Cloak Banshee yet in this series, and he's going for a Widowmine drop, in fact. This is really bad for Future here.
Steadfast, thank you so much for covering, because you did break me right there. But I don't remember the last time I saw a Widowmine drop in this, sorry. Widowmine drop at this stage in the game in this matchup. It just is not something people do.
Without Drilling Claws, it's such a weird move. It is just going to be a pressure out of Namshar. So if Future can find a way to hold... Oh, where did these roaches... I swear I was watching the exit to the base, but the roaches slipped by even me. And Future's going to spot this super late. Double bunker trying to come on in. Now, does he commit with the Widowmines? No, he is going to drop them at the front. I actually really like how he's doing this, because it's going to force Future to Namshar to either morph Ravagers or to go around
Namshar?
or to just walk right through them.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's also an option. I wouldn't have recommended it, but he did it.
I mean, he still has okay, better split there. He still has 2 Ravagers and 2 Roaches, and that's something. But with these bunkers here, even as the Hellion goes down, this was a horrendous spot for Future. That is not going to be horrendous anymore, because he's got bunkers and he's got medevac. Widowmines. He's going to eat a shot on the Widowmine. Sure.
Please stop, guys.
This is Steadfast. What are the players in NA? What does the Straya say?
Something about a circus?
No, NA, we are powerful clowns.
We are powerful clowns. Well, that is something about a circus. You need clowns at the circus.
That's not even true. You know, I've seen circus without, like, Cirque du Soleil, I don't think has clowns.
Oh, true. Good point. Good point. Well, it's, I don't know, man. This game is happening. It's continuing to happen before our very eyes. The game continues to be played, even as you and I sit here with our nutrient chains.
Exactly. I feel like, he's getting... Bunker does get salvaged in time. Amazing. Imagine, I said fast, we haven't had a bunker build change in forever. This is what we're missing in StarCraft. And if we had a bunker salvage time, I mean, imagine that could have killed the bunker. And it would have turned the entire game around, but Blizzard cruelly denies us the bunker salvage timing nerf that we so desperately need in this game.
You know what I really want to see now? A bunker salvage timing upgrade. That's the new thing I want to see. As we do have the Liberator getting cleaned up, we saw 14 drones in production at once. Oh man, what a funny series this has been. Do you think we see Roaches and Ravagers as the transition, or is Namshar just gonna go for some, you know, some melee? Oh well, that answered that question right quick.
A melee, yes, but Steadfast, you know what you need when you go for 1-1 melee and a Baneling Nest? Like, to make sure your Zerglings are good?
What's that?
You need Zergling speed.
Oh yeah, you really do.
How long before Namshar
Oh, no.
realizes that he has forgotten Zergling speed in this game? Because I understand, right? You skip Link speed for the Roach timing. Yeah, okay, he had Roach speed going down there for a second. There we go. That's the right speed. Good job, Namshar. You don't want your Roaches to be speedy, although maybe. You do want your Lings to be fast. So that means now that there is almost a world where Baneling speed finishes before Zergling speed. Actually, I think Ling upgrades a little faster, so never mind. But anyway.
Yeah.
One of the things you just get, like, get the upgrade.
It's gonna be kind of close. It's gonna be this weird timing where he has like Ling speed, Bane speed, 1-1 all finishing up at like a really weird timing, like very close to each other, and it's gonna look like it's like a planned thing, like he did it as some kind of elaborate, you know. Ooh, look at this big timing the Terran player's going for with an attempt to kill the Protoss third. It's gonna kind of look like that in TVZ, which is very funny.
Well, here's the thing. Future's 1-1 is just about done. He has... Okay, there we go. Combat shields and concussive shells. I saw combat shields go up for a second, and it's like, wait a minute. You're going combat shields or concussive shells before combat? But anyway, he's got those upgrades. His 1-1 is done. This is a rather powerful Terran army when he brings it all together, running on the other side of the map. But we do have to remember, Ravagers, Roaches, they are strong units. They are supply heavy. It is hard to push into this right now. So Namshar, he has his 5th base actually up. His 4th base has been mining for a bit, doing a good job of taking advantage of that spare time that Future has given him. But Namshar will lose 1 Ravager in the exchange and a couple Lings, and that's going to be something. But we do want Future, if you're a Future fan, he does want to realize that this is actually a 5-based Zerg right now, not just a 4-1.
Yeah, it is important to make that distinction, get that understanding. We are seeing, a very big stim coming on in here. Maybe not realizing or kind of contextually realizing that Combat Shields wasn't done yet. But here comes a massive push from Future, 5 siege tanks. And he does need to give his bio a little bit of time to heal up. This is a lot of siege tanks for this point, and it's a very scary position to try and deal with.
I mean, I guess that's the benefit of... I don't even think the factory was all that early, but he has only been building tanks for the last, like, 5 minutes. So now here come the Banelings rolling on in. Speed as well. Future not able to take advantage of that timing of the tanks on the back line. Actually, they're not really handling this all that well. The army of Future is just falling apart. And Namshar, his Baneling speed, his Ling speed, and the Hydras all popped out at the same time, because that is a normal and standard ZVT.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, in all seriousness, that was a really great fight for Namshar. Went very, very well. A lot better than I kind of expected it to. Good job from Namshar. He gets the cleanup. He's now going into a +1 missile instead of +2 melee. He did this in game number 2 as well, and it went pretty well for him. He's going to transition into Lurkers also. Meanwhile, Ling's Banes trying to roll on forward. Will get on top of this army. A lot of damage being done from those Banelings. Doesn't kill all the Marines. A lot of them do manage to pick on up and get out of here. But a pretty good fight for Namshar, and he's going to be able to respread creep a little bit.
And Namshar did such a fantastic job there of wrapping the Banes around once the Lings showed up. So Future had 2 options. He could pick up or he could die, and he really did choose the death option for a lot of that army. But we are starting to see Future attempt, at the very least, to punish that position that this 5th base has, where you can kind of siege up on the bottom side, and it becomes rather difficult for the Zerg to defend. But we're seeing Namshar not mind from there. He's using this as a production hatch, and really what he's using this as almost a bait, because he's taking the base on the left side. That's where he's actively mining. But this is forcing Future to attack into a position, or drawing Future to attack into a position that really doesn't actually matter all that much for the Zerg.
No, not all that much. And we talked about the 8 racks before. This is actually an 8 racks. And look, this Future is long distance mining from this location. He's going to lift off the main and send it over to that 4th base location on the right. Namshar, if he can recognize this, he will realize that, yeah, I should not fight right here. I do not want to fight into a bad position. Right here, where Future is set up, there maybe is an opportunity to go for it, but he's morphing into bait, and now while they're morphing, he kind of feints forward. You don't want to be making those moves, Namshar. That is expensive. That is going to come at a hefty cost. But he now does have Vipers on the field. Needs to charge them up. Hello? 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 Namshar, no, not like this.
Okay, it's gonna survive. Vipers are apparently rather tanky units in this game, I guess, but Bailey's coming crashing in now as the tanks siege up, and yeah, the tanks remain, the Liberators kind of remain, but not a lot of the buyout remains anyways. Namshar with a 10 army supply lead against an 8 racks, which is not a position you ever want to be as Namshar continues to mine better, he continues to get better upgrades, he has those 5 bases, eventually, there we go, he's gonna start morphing in lurkers, which in this army that Future has made that is just meant to punch through, you don't punch through lurkers. It is not, that's not how you want to play the game. You play it slow, you snipe them down with the ghost that Future does not have, and now he's forced to just kind of stim and run away. Ducks there on top of the Liberators doing what they can as the tank on the backside will die here as well. The Liberator's not even doing anything. The Namshar chose not to kill it for a while. He says, yeah, you're not going to escape. That's fine. And Future's just losing his entire army. He's going to try to make something happen here, take the best fight possible, but it does not matter.